Hello everyone, you're watching News Mongolia and MNB World. I'm your host, Untitled Chapter. Our top stories. 2,366 new COVID-19 cases confirmed and 1,059 people have recovered. A new system will be introduced for agricultural products of origin. Mongolia to start vaccinating children over 12 years old. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health reported that 2,366 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed nationwide in the past 24 hours, and 13 more people have died.
As of today, 2,366 new cases were confirmed nationwide. Within the past 24 hours, 601 patients who were being treated at hospitals and 458 patients who were being treated at home have recovered. Unfortunately, 13 people between the ages of 30 and 83 died due to COVID-19 complications. Out of the new cases, 5 were hospital-acquired cases. Out of the 2,361 domestic cases, 1,482 were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar city and the remaining 879 were confirmed in the provinces. Among the 12,898 COVID-19 patients being treated at hospitals, 8,352 patients are showing mild symptoms of illness and 228 are in critical condition. Additionally, 22,630 patients are being treated at home. Yesterday, over 10,000 people received COVID-19 vaccines nationwide. As of June 23rd, 89.8% of the target citizens, including those over the age of 16, have received at least one COVID-19 vaccine dose, and 79.5% of the target citizens have received the second dose of a vaccine. Among the total population, 59.4% have received at least one dose of vaccine, and 52.7% have received 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. As of now, 1,316 pregnant women and 18,101 teenagers aged 16 or 17 have been vaccinated. Health officials encourage that target citizens for immunizations get vaccinated and strictly follow the precautionary measures, as high numbers of COVID-19 cases have constantly been confirmed nationwide.
The government of Mongolia held its regular cabinet meeting on Wednesday. During the meeting, it was decided to start vaccinating children over 12 years old against COVID-19. Details from the following reports.
Some countries have started vaccinating children between the ages of 12 and 15 with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Mongolia has conducted some research and received a recommendation from the manufacturer that it is possible to immunize children over 12 years old. Accordingly, the government of Mongolia plans to start the immunization of children aged 12 to 15 on a voluntary basis from next Monday. According to census, there are about 290,000 children aged 12 to 17 years old in Mongolia. Since June 15, more than 13,000 teenagers aged 16 to 17 years old, 1,146 pregnant women, and 919 lactating mothers have received the first doses of COVID-19 vaccine nationwide. The celebration of the 2,230th anniversary of the foundation of the first Mongolian statehood, 815th anniversary of the founding of the Great Mongolian Empire, 100th anniversary of the People's Revolution opening and closing ceremonies of the National NAADAM Festival, its main events including wrestling, horse racing, national archery, and ankle-bone shooting game, state honorary concert will be all broadcasted through the TV channels and radio stations without live spectators. Due to the rapid spread of the COVID-19, NAADAM will not be celebrated in the provinces until July 20th. The state and local emergency commissions will decide whether to celebrate the festival after conducting a risk assessment at the venues. Governors of provinces at all levels have been instructed not to hold public events such as horse racing, mountain and Ovo worshipping rituals or any anniversaries. The Minister of Environment and Tourism, Ortnasan, and the Minister of Road and Transport Development, Hattar, were instructed to develop a joint coordinated plan until 2024 to develop the air transport and tourism sector. In order to increase the number, frequency, and route of tourist flights, comprehensive organizational measures will have to be taken. If necessary, officials were instructed to support low-cost flights to certain destinations, to open new routes, and to issue tourist flight permits earlier.
There are a number of reasons to start inoculating young teens, as a number of COVID-19 infections and deaths among children have occurred so far. Vaccination is regarded as a necessity to protect the young teens from getting infected and to prevent the higher cases among students which are expected in the upcoming academic year.
In the world, there are about 11 million children that have been infected with COVID-19. Out of them, over 7,000 have died so far. In Mongolia, more than 21,000 children have been diagnosed with COVID-19. Also, several cases of deaths among children have occurred in our country. The way to prevent COVID-19 complications and deaths among children is considered to be vaccination. The immunization for 12 and 15-year-olds was approved yesterday at the National Immunization Committee meeting. Therefore, the implementation of the immunization will start very soon once a resolution is adopted by the Minister of Health. We are working to intensify the campaign, aiming to have teens fully vaccinated sometime ahead of the start of the next academic year so that they are able to gain full immunity.
Herd immunity is gained after 80% of the total population is vaccinated. In our case, we have to vaccinate everyone over the age of 6 in order to gain this level of immunity. In other words, even after teens age 16 and 17 and pre and young teens age 12 and 15 have been vaccinated, it will still be a long way until 80% of the total population gets immunized. As of now, 150,000 people have not yet been vaccinated for any legitimate reason. Since the start of the immunization campaign, 59.2% of the total population has received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and 52.5% have received 2 doses of a vaccine.
There are a number of ways to prevent infectious diseases, such as wearing masks, imposing lockdown, and vaccination. The better we take these measures, the better we will be able to reduce the risk. Even though the advised precautionary measures are simple and doable, in our country these are not properly followed. For example, in shops you can see people not taking distance from other customers. Also, when studying the death caused by COVID-19 in Mongolia, 95% of the people who have died are either ones who never had received a single dose of vaccine or had not been fully vaccinated yet.
The main ways to restrict the spread of infection are to immunize the people, to impose a strict lockdown, or to implement strict social distancing. Health experts say that the immunization campaign is successfully proceeding as expected, so it can be said that the public are failing to take social distancing and limiting social interactions seriously. As herd immunity is nowhere near to be achieved, even when the immunization is going on smoothly, we are facing a situation where we cannot say no to imposing possible lockdowns in the future. Now let's check on the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. The Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation has been developing a responsible nomadic electronic system since 2017 as part of the Global Green Gold Responsible Herder project. With the new system, the origin of the product will be available to see through QR code.
As a result, it is possible to find out where and how the products made from animal raw materials are produced and where the raw materials were prepared by reading the QR code on your mobile phone. For example, the bowl you see here was co-produced by national startups as part of the project. For example, when reading the QR code of a product, it is reported that raw materials were obtained from herders in Dotsum, Hoft province. This standard will be introduced in all Sums.
It is very difficult to verify whether the product was made in Mongolia in the global market. The reason is that it is difficult to distinguish whether it's made in China's Inner Mongolia or Mongolia. This system is significant because it generates a QR code to verify that it is originated in Mongolia. This means that it's no longer possible to counterfeit products on the global market.
There are provisions in the agricultural law. The law stipulates that the origin of goods traded on agricultural exchanges must meet certain quality standards. So first of all, we will implement this law. Second, Mongolian agriculture has great potential in rural areas. In this way, the project is expected to open up more opportunities to improve raw material quality standards. The process of making all the information available to consumer from the raw materials produced by herders to the final product is progressing one step at a time.
Here's the weather forecast for major cities around the world. Well, that's all for today. Many thanks for staying with us on News Mongolia. See you tomorrow with more stories and updates. Please follow MNB World on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great evening. Goodbye.